we have such sights to show you. Welcome back to Wrestling with Horror, and I have just finished the new Hellraiser movie released to Hulu. This film is sort of a reimagining of the Clive Barker film. My initial thought is that I thought it was very, very well made. It is a nice update to the story. I thought Jamie Clayton did a very good job in the role of Pinhead. It's a little closer to the source material than the movie was, the original movie. So, other positives. The set design was magnificent. The gore in the movie was perfect. I liked all the effects. The Cenobites looked really, really good. The makeup effects on those, the Cenobites were really good. I thought the direction of the movie was really good as well. And something that I think was lacking in all the other Hellraiser movies was that the characters that are in the story, they were always very weak. And I feel like this movie really made you feel for some of these characters, made you understand what they were going through. You got to know them. And I feel like that was severely lacking in a lot of the Hellraiser movies. So I think the biggest thing that people were looking for in this movie was that the Cenobites were actually part of the story rather than being just added to a script that wasn't intended to be a Hellraiser movie. This one was 100% a Hellraiser movie, and that wasn't always the case. So with this story, basically what happens is you have this recovering addict whose boyfriend, they go on this job together. He tells her that they got to go get this object. They're basically stealing it. But what they end up getting is the lament configuration. And of course, that sets in motion the course of events that takes place throughout the film. Okay, before I start going into this part of the story, I would just like to say that this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, stop watching. So basically, the main character's brother ends up getting cut by the limit configuration when he finds her. And the Cenobites come and take him, and nobody knows where he went. So she freaks out. She's trying to figure out what happened to him to get him back. Throughout the course of the film, she starts understanding that she has to solve the lament configuration so many times in order to be granted her wish. And throughout this, she goes on this journey, ends up at this millionaire's house who we saw at the very beginning of the movie. And during this, more things happen, more people die, one of her other friends. And throughout the course of this, she learns that the millionaire who was supposedly disappeared 6 years ago is actually still alive. He got his wish, and now he has this giant metal thing going through his chest and out his back, and he is doomed to live there forever. So he is also trying to solve the lament configuration this number of times so he can redo his wish. But I think we know the Cenobites well enough to know that it's never that simple. And so basically what happens is she learns that her boyfriend is actually working for this guy, and he is being paid to sacrifice people for the lament configuration for his boss. So when she finds this out, she actually sacrifices him, and then she comes face to face with all the Cenobites one final time. And instead of taking the resurrection that they offer her, she says, "I know my brother's gone. I don't want anything from you." So basically her punishment is to live with what she's done. Now, at the end, there was a scene of the millionaire, Roland Voight, and he basically got to redo his wish at the end, and they gave him Leviathan instead. So basically they say, it is time, and he turns into his own version of a Cenobite. So it looks like we're going to be getting more installments of this series, which I'm very excited about. So that's basically the plot of the movie. Now, something else I would like to talk about. The first 10, 15 minutes for me, just, I don't know, it didn't really do it. I wasn't invested up until that point. But once the movie really got going, I got into it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very well made. And like I said, the biggest thing that everybody was wanting was the Cenobites front and center, and they were very much front and center throughout the entire movie. They weren't relegated to the third act. They weren't pushed to the background. This was their movie. And that is all that any of us want from a Hellraiser film. So my final thoughts, as far as where I would rank this in the Hellraiser franchise, I still have the original ahead of this one for me. It just, I don't know if there's nostalgia with it or what, but I still prefer the original. So it's either going to be this one or Hellraiser 2 that is going to take that second spot. And I haven't completely decided on which it would be yet. I probably need to watch this one again and rewatch the second one again to kind of nail down what my thoughts are. But being second or third in a franchise of however many movies we have in the Hellraiser franchise now is a very good thing. Again, I just want to point out that I really, really, really like the design of the Cenobites. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. I like that it was all done practically for the most part. So those were my thoughts on the new Hellraiser movie that released to Hulu this week. Let me know down below what you thought of it. Do you want to see more out of this version of the film? Do you want sequels to this? Did you not like it? What worked for you? What didn't work? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on. We are deep into October now. We're going to keep this month rolling and keep this Halloween season going good. There's a lot more coming your way, and I will see you next time on Wrestling with Horror.